Hey guys, I'm back for just a moment. Um, I've been busy, but I do pop in, watch some live streams occasionally, and I watched yesterday's between Short Fat Otaku and somebody called JMAA, who must be another channel. And that's an experience, guys. That is one of the most painful things to listen to. It's both funny and sad at the same time. It's Someone in the comments described it as the metaphor of playing chess with a chicken or a pigeon. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much the case. Um, it's not even a matter of one guy knew this subject, the other guy didn't know this subject, or one person was prepared and the other person wasn't prepared for the debate. It wasn't so much a debate; it was just a discussion. Um, it's even dumber than that. Uh, I'm gonna play this little clip from you, and I'm surprised nobody's just clipped this little piece on its own. So if you haven't watched the stream, and you really don't want to watch it, then this little clip here will give you everything you need to know. Maybe not everything, but enough of basically how utterly brain dead the person SFO was talking to is, and it should kind of worry you a little bit.
Going on right now.
Okay, so in a brief history
Not
of
necessarily agreeing with that, but that's what exactly going on right now.
hold on,
That's
hold
what
on,
I
hold on.
mean.
In a brief history of fascist lies by Federico Filchenstein, he talks about like what makes a government truly fascist in that book. And he said, let me just find it here. Fascism proposes the notion of truth that transcends reason and is incarnated in the myth of power. So basically, the truth only exists if a powerful person says it exists.
I don't know. You don't seem like intellectually honest when you have to
you
look
said,
at books all
well,
the time.
that is how you learn things, is by reading.
Yeah, but I don't like. Like I don't need to look at like I'm telling you my opinions that I don't need to have to read a book to actually tell you my opinions.
Well, true,
Like
but like,
you're basically taking whatever opinions someone else is taking.
well, no, I am reading parts of these. I'm reading to you parts of these books that I agree with.
Are you sure you agree with them? Are you sure you're like taking ideas from someone else?
No, actually, I agree with them. For another part, Mussolini is always right. Between 1922 and 1945, Italian fascists repeated this in. Hold on. Italian fascists
You said
repeated.
Mussolini was
No, 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 no,
always
no, no, no,
right.
no. This is a quote from the book. Italian fascists repeated this impossible sentence like liturgy. They believed that fascism owned the truth.
See, like you agree basically on whatever that book says,
No, no,
right? About
no, no,
Mussolini.
no. I agree that these are
You
what
said it.
fascists thinks. No.
That those are
These
books
are
you agree on.
no. You're not understanding.
Yes, you said it.
No. Listen.
Yes, you actually said it.
No.
This reminds me of another scene from a movie, and this is actually worse. I think you know what I'm going to pull up right now, if you haven't looked in the upper corner.
For the last time, I'm pretty sure what's killing the crops is this Brondo stuff.
But Brondo's got what plants crave. It's got electrolytes.
So wait a minute. What you're saying is that you want us to put water on the crops.
Yes.
Water. Like out the toilet?
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be out of the toilet, but yeah, that's the idea.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
Okay, look. The plants aren't growing, so I'm pretty sure that the Brondo's not working. Now, I'm no botanist, but I do know that if you put water on plants, they grow.
Oh, well, I've never seen no plants grow out of no toilet.
Hey, that's good. You sure you ain't the smartest guy in the world?
Yeah. So let's go back.
Okay, look, you want to solve this problem. I want to get my pardon, so why don't we just try it, okay? And not worry about what plants crave.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
Yeah, it's got electrolytes.
What are electrolytes? Do you even know?
It's what They used to make Brondo.
Yeah, but why did they use them to make Brondo?
All right, I won't go for the whole scene. You get the point. That's a really funny scene, and first time I saw it, I laughed. It's funny. It has a whole other meaning now after having watched that stream between SFO and JMAA. He actually in the movie convinces the guys, like, look, just try the water. And they go, okay. Or they just give up. They're like, okay, whatever. It's not gonna, what we're doing now isn't working, so we're gonna try the water. SFO here, not only does it was the equivalent of as if he had actually was a botanist. He said, well, plants need this, and they use photosynthesis, and let me explain to you what an electrolyte is and why that's not really relevant to. And I'd like to quote this science textbook. That is the equivalent. That if that scene had been like that, that would have been more of representation of what occurs in this stream. But the reaction I would have expected for comedic effect would have been what this guy had said, except it's not so funny when someone in real life does it, because you laugh at first. The chat exploded. It was amazing. But you then realize this man votes, and this man's vote is worth as much as your vote. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, individual liberty is paramount. It's the single most important principle we can agree on, is individual liberty. Sure, Fat Otaku, Sargon, Raise Your Fist. Let me think who else. Styx, Dave Rubin, Glenn Greenwald, left, right, center, whatever, however you want to declare it, since that whole spectrum is messed up anyway. Individual liberty versus the mindlessness of collectivist socialism. That's what's at stake here. Because JMAA, he might be too chicken shit to come take your wealth and redistribute or force you to do whatever it is. He probably is. He probably, he probably couldn't win a firefight in a phone booth with a toddler. But he will elect somebody who is power hungry enough to go do this. And he will elect people who will then send people who are more than competent enough to go take your stuff and smash your face. And he's too stupid to realize that. He's actually too dumb to know that he's being used. And he will go to the grave, whether he's a national socialist or an international socialist. He will go to the grave being a collectivist, and when it blows up in his face, he will have absolutely no idea why, and he'll insist that, well, the Soviet Union, they must have actually been secretly capitalists masquerading as communists. Yes, he says that in the stream. He says that. Go ahead, go back and watch this. The idiot actually says that, because it's the logical, oh, that wasn't real socialism, that wasn't real communism, and so on and so on. And in the meantime, our individual liberties erode, our capitalist principles erode in the name of either welfare or collective action or socialism or whatever the hell it is, because they just care so much. But when the individual liberties start eroding away, these are the people who rise to power, and they will cause an absolute disaster. And guess what? It ain't going to be putting Gatorade on crops. It's going to be piles of bodies, like under Mao, under Stalin, under Hitler, under Mussolini, under Pol Pot. It's the same thing. It always leads the same way. So drop whatever issues you have with social conservatives or social liberals or whatever it is in terms of traditional sense. Drop all of that. There's one thing you need to vote based on, and that is who's pushing individual liberty and who's pandering to this guy for his vote. Because if your individual liberties disappear, it is now in the hands, it's even more so in the hands of people like him, who will gang up to vote to have somebody go do violence against you to make you conform, then it is in your own hands. Because when those individual liberties disappear, because not just they're no longer written down, but you no longer have the ability to actually enforce that individual liberty. They take away your arms. They take away your ability to, get a job, your ability to speak. They say, oh, you can say whatever you want, but we can censor it because, it's offensive and so on. You're not free of the consequences of that. They will take everything away from you if you do not have those individual liberties. And they will come to your house and they will take your stuff and they will say, well, this is for whatever. And just because you have a piece of paper that is the Constitution that says, hey, this is illegal. These are my Fourth Amendment rights. Where's my right to an attorney? Where's my right to, who says you have to have a warrant to enter my house? Oh, you're taking my arms away. I have the right to bear arms. I have the right to free speech. None of that means anything to these people because they can't even. Well, I mean, because are you taking those opinions from something you wrote down? Somebody else's opinion? It's shocking, but it's real. It's real. I mean, luckily, there's never been enough of these people to. I'm saying that so far there hasn't been enough of these people to at least bring down the United States. Although we're getting there. But these are the kind of people who put Hitler in power. These are the kind of people who applauded when Mussolini took over because he was going to redistribute the state and do all this other stuff, or would say redistribute people's capital to form a better fascistic state, which is all the principles of socialism. Although he apparently doesn't understand that because Mussolini bad, so therefore that couldn't have been socialist because socialist good. This is the electrolytes. It's what the plants crave. If they crave it, then how can it must not be real electrolytes. That if it's not working, it's not real electrolytes. That's what they're frustrating. But for God's sake, hold on to your individual liberty and stop people like this. Stop them. Not sure Fat Otaku. He's cool. But JMAA, the people who he votes for, the people who he supports, they're going to be piloting your life and they're going to pilot it right into the ground. And right in the ground with another couple, maybe 100 million people this time. You know what? Mao's got 50 million. Stalin's got 30, probably more. Especially start counting the Ukrainians and whatnot. Hitler's got, they said, was it 10, 15 million? Mussolini, indirectly, I guess you could say he's part of, essentially, Hitler's total, because it all kind of happened at the same time. Pol Pot. It's the body count keeps rising, and it keeps rising because the electrolytes are clearly what the plants crave, and, those weren't real electrolytes. That's the logic. So, whatever. Yeah, if you want to risk losing brain cells, watch this stream and you can laugh, but also be a little bit terrified because, again, his vote is worth the same amount as your vote. And, he will vote away your rights. And you have to do things to fight to protect them because all it takes is two of him and one of you, and your head's on the chopping block. Doesn't matter what the truth is. The objective truth does not matter to these people. Think about that. You could be innocent of the crime. It can be your property. It can be the right way to do it. The plants can need the water, and the Gatorade or the Brando could be killing the plant. That's the objective truth. It doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter because the electrolytes is what the plants crave. This is such a clear-cut example of that. It's actually shocking. I'm surprised. If this guy was a troll, he was an unbelievably elaborate troll, and he had to start huffing carbon dioxide or something to lose the brain cells to come up with a character as dumb as this, because he's actually dumber and more malicious and more dangerous than any of the characters in Idiocracy, and I mean that. It's shocking. So, if you want to track this down, it's on SFO's channel. I think he uploads to BitChute. If he does, I'd check it out there because who knows how long this is going to stand. Because, actual conversations about actual issues are just too spicy for YouTube. But, check it out. And, maybe have something to drink while you do it. And don't be driving a car not just because you'll need something to drink, but because you'll either laugh and cause an accident, or you'll decide to just end it right there. You'll just turn right off the highway and just careen into a ditch. And I can relate. So that's all.